rant.com, and I Am Virtue, being joined by the man himself, former WCW Hardcore Champion, Big Vito LaGrasso. What's up, man?
How's everybody tonight? I hope everybody's doing good. It's Getting Color coming to you live, baby, live. It's the BIGV from the LOG, and we're doing our thing here. I hope everybody's having a great night. Um, Virtue, did you see Tom Brady rebound from his loss last week?
Yes, I did, and they won. They won, and that usually happens with great quarterbacks, even at 40 some years old.
But Antonio Brown was in the mix tonight.
Yeah,
Did you
and
notice that?
and he's going to be. I mean, they got Gronk, Brown, Godwin, Evans had a touchdown. That Ronald Jones running back had a 98-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah, but the thing was with Tom Brady, I think he threw for three, he rushed for two.
Oh wow, I didn't know he rushed for two. That's pretty good.
I think he rushed for two, and Evans got the other one. So you are the moderator there. If you want to moderate, if you want to take questions, or if you can, you can't. No big deal.
Well, let's start with our first topic will be AEW, and I have to go to Twitter because we actually were tweeted by Mr. Christopher Yuck,
We were.
YUKK, but he's asking you this, Vito.
Okay.
Can you comment on the overuse of color for meaningless, storyless matches that take place in AEW? Why do we need a bloodbath for a non-title, non-main event, no crowd match on Dynamite? He says this has been happening quite often in AEW. You want to take that one?
Guys, if there's no rhyme or reason for you to bleed and you're bleeding in a match, why are you doing it? You think you're getting over with the boys, or it looks cool, or you could say, I'm a wrestler. I can't believe that they let this happen. I think it's unnecessary, and they should save that for the main events. It shouldn't be the preliminary matches or on Dynamite. Those guys shouldn't be doing it. You know,
And I agree. And it takes away for when they do it in the main events, like, I don't know, Moxley and stuff. Well, if you're seeing blood in these other matches, unless it's the hard way by accident, it's like I don't know what they're doing. They're trying. I don't know if they know their identity there. They want to be hardcore. They want to be indie. They want to be WWE, WCW. What do you think AEW wants to be in their identity? What's Tony Khan's master plan here? Because it's like he's trying to be everything.
that's just it. He's trying to do everything, and he's trying to putting a feeler out there to see what works. But when you got guys busting themselves open for no rhyme or reason, I mean, where's the direction? Where are the agents? Where are the guys who are in charge saying yes and no? Who's writing this?
Tony Khan.
That's where you got to go with it. So if
Yeah.
you're writing for these guys, the preliminary guys, to bleed in a match that doesn't mean anything, I mean, I don't know what to say. And guys, hardcore is passe. It's not ECW no more. It's not the WCW. It's not the old WWE. This isn't the 24/7 title. Guys, it's an art form to do. It's something you have to know how to do. I see so many guys on Twitter or on Facebook who do these things. It irritates the shit out of me when I see these guys doing it and they look stupid.
Now, there's other things. Like, what did you see? I must have missed this, obviously, the past few days. What happened in Vegas with the Inner Circle? You were telling me something earlier, and it slipped my mind. I haven't been keeping up with wrestling the last few days for various reasons, as I usually do.
So it was
So,
a picture of the boys in Vegas. I don't know what they were doing there. I don't know if they
yeah.
were having a party. I don't know. But it was Jericho, his crew, the kid MJF, and Wardorf or whatever his name is.
Wardlow.
Yeah, Wardlow. They were
Just
just
having a good time. Now, at least it was their group, and it wasn't like heels hanging with faces. Oh,
Right.
speaking of which, that's a good segue here, Vito,
Go
because
ahead.
I want your take on this piece of news. So we know that Alexa Bliss has been doing the angle with the Fiend, and kayfabe is dead with the internet and the dirt sheets. Oh, let's break the news so all the wrestling fans know what's going to happen before it happens, which I hate. But she's playing this sinister character with the Fiend, and it's something different. It's protecting her. She doesn't have to work as much. She was prone to concussions and getting hurt in the ring, so this is kind of extending her life on camera. I like that. Now, this Ryan Cabrera guy, I don't know if he's a famous guy or whatever, but Alexa Bliss is now engaged. Congratulations. I just wish, and this goes back to Miro and Lana, and look at the heat that they got after this. They put their real life out there, and it just takes away from what we see on camera. Uh, is this just 2020? Is this just how it is, or could they protect the business a little bit better? I know it's good to be excited about these kind of things, Vito, but like Alexa Bliss is supposed to be this sinister character with the Fiend, and she's all happy and love, and we all know how that goes on the internet. Mr. Aaron Rift.
Yeah, Mr.
What's your take on this thing? I don't like it. I just don't.
She is doing an awesome job being the sinister little devil, right? And
Yeah.
I dig it. I think she's doing a good job. For her to announce an engagement, which is what Rusev and Lana did when they were heels,
Mm-hmm.
and they got a lot of heat for it, right? Which led to them breaking up and a whole bunch of other stuff. I just don't think that people think sometimes and they get excited, and it's the same thing like Nia Jack doing the TikTok and we get on her. Lana's a baby face. She should be doing TikTok, you know. But I think it was a bad move. It breaks her mood. It breaks where she's at. I have no idea who this Cabrera guy is or whatever. I didn't know, she got engaged. She got engaged to this Cabrera guy. So who the hell is he?
I don't. I want to remember there was a singer named Cabrera, but I don't know if this is the famous one or just some guy she knows. I
Right.
don't know, but nonetheless,
So let me answer a question in this chat here. We're on Twitch, guys. I just want to say something. Okay, guys, you not to kill the mood. The Dizzy Pigeon 504. Not to kill the mood, but what were your thoughts on the Benoit incident? What were your thoughts? What do you think my thoughts were, jackass? I gotta say, I gotta ask you. Right? What were your thoughts? And how many years ago? And we're still talking about it. Why be stupid? Why bring up something like that? It's done with. It's over with. What were my thoughts? What would be my thoughts if you killed your parents or you killed your family? I don't know. What do you think? Jackass. That's what I got for you. Jackass.
Vito slaying the Twitch trolls,
Yeah,
loving it.
that's right. Because I see a hey bro, how you doing? Hey, what's up, Vito? Hey, Big Vito. Great, I love it, guys. I'm glad you're on the broadcast. But when you see a frigging guy like this, come on. What were your thoughts on the Benoit incident? I'd really
Yeah,
like to know. Listen, I was dating your mother back in the day, and I could be your father. What would be the thing with that?
tell him to go clean his room.
Go clean your room. Get out of here.
Well, speaking of Twitch,
Go ahead.
Paige is still employed by WWE. Now we're going to talk about someone who is not a little bit later, but Paige is still working there, and she's still on Twitch. So what I want to know, a lot of people close their Twitch down because Vince McMahon wants a cut of it. You're using, if you're on a WWE contract and you're using your likeness on Twitch, Vince McMahon wants a cut of that.
Right.
Paige, what do you think's happening with Paige? Is she staying on Twitch, and is she going to bow down and maybe give whatever percent to Vince McMahon and WWE for this? Um, what's your take? Or is she going to end up wanting to leave too, like someone else who got released, which we'll talk about in a little bit?
Guys, you can't if you're an independent contractor. You're an entrepreneur of your own business outside of your contract. You should be able to make money and do what you need to do outside the wrestling business. You got to have a plan B. As you know, you can get fired and you can get released. What do? Right? So, Selena Vega, she got released from her contract as we know, and but Paige was doing the same thing and refused. I think what ticked the WWE off, which does a lot of businesses, is when you bring the word union involved. And
Yeah.
you're working there and you say, we're going to unionize, we're going to get lawyers. Okay, no problem. Keep your Twitch. You don't need to work for us. Thank you.
So let me get this straight. So what we know is we'll just combine these two because there's another topic that will branch off from this about
Okay.
another wrestler, a spouse. So Paige is still employed. She's still on Twitch.
And I think there's
Zelina Vega
I
is
think there's I think there's different levels here too, which Paige has a movie. She's more of a commodity. Selena Vega just came on. She didn't even. She's not even here for a cup of coffee, and she's been in some kind of. It's like the second or third incident I've heard with her. But go ahead.
that's a great point. So Paige has some value to her to where maybe they know if she was released, she could make a killing on Twitch. And so they're like, no, we're going to keep you here because you still bring eyeballs. And whereas Zelina Vega may be just not that big of a name in terms of what she can bring WWE, so they let her go when she tweeted, I support unionization. And it's interesting because they're apparently not afraid of dropping her and having her go to competition. And she might not be able to make as much money like a Paige would, who has more notoriety
Right.
outside of WWE and not with their spotlight on her. So two different situations, Vito, and Paige is still there.
I, guys, it's just like Okay, I was just talking to Noel about this the other day. You know, the Bella twins recently said they're going to make a comeback, right? And they have one more run. Now, since the Bella twins have been disassociated from John Cena, they're not that mainstream no more.
Well, they got their show, but
Uh,
it's yeah.
but the show has dropped a few notches, and because John Cena is not dating Nikki Bella, it's not the same no more. It's not must see TV, and
I
you
yep.
rarely hear about it. I don't hear about it at all.
No, that's a good point because Cena is one of those bigger than WWE type stars because he's in Hollywood in feature films.
I gotta say, guys, it depends where you rank in the company to see how far you can push them. If Paige is making bank, so she proves she doesn't need the WWE. She's making six figures doing all the stuff. So if she's making six figures with the WWE and six figures with this, she's pulling bank. Can she live on six figures doing her own thing? Absolutely. And if she was released from the WWE, I'm sure she'd get movie parts and she could do other things and go on game shows and do a whole host of things. But WWE has it on the lock and key. Plus, she has a wrestling family that probably could do something if they put their minds to it. Selena Vega, like she said, I'm a girl from Queens. I got a shot. I'm a midget. I'm nothing. Okay. But sometimes people need to shut up, do your job. You're not that big of a star. And when you believe your own juice, that's when things happen in this thing. I believe in unionization. Well, I believe you should, find work elsewhere. Thank you.
Well, yeah, and Paige is one of those like if WWE released her, she would even if she can't work because of her neck, she'd probably end up in AEW, who allows their wrestlers to Twitch, even if she was like a manager or just a mouthpiece, or maybe a represent, maybe the manager of the women's division, like an authority figure, and she could bring in some extra eyeballs because she has that notoriety, whereas Zelina Vega doesn't. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out going forward with Paige, since she's still there.
But you know what? You bring up Paige, and everybody forgets. Everybody talks AEW, but Impact is paying people to be there, and Impact does have. It's another branch, and I'm not knocking them or saying they're second rate to AEW, but you put a page on Impact, are you gonna watch? Oh yeah, you're gonna turn the
Well,
channel,
more like absolutely, and
right? So
not, yeah,
for the 2 million people, I I think she's got 2 million people, or she
it's
has.
it's seven figures on Twitch, which is
Right.
That's top notch. Yeah.
So if she has seven figures on Twitch, you don't think 250 to 500,000 would turn on the TV to watch her on Impact? And where would that bring their ratings? I don't know what Impact's ratings are. I know you're into that, but if you compare Impact, AEW, and WWE, I bet you that would give them a run for the money.
And it's interesting too because they with every wrestler, WWE might negotiate differently. So for all we know, them and Paige might have renegotiated her contract to a point to where she might be happy with what they're going to take from her Twitch, and she might still get a bulk of it. So we don't know that. They might be like, wow, well, you get so much from Twitch, just give us 10%, you keep the rest, and we're all happy. I mean, we don't know, but it's a possibility. Whereas Zelina Vega, they're not going to do that with her.
Different strokes for different folks, people.
Yeah.
Everybody should keep in their lane, mind their own, because right now, and also another thing that everybody's missing here, WWE announced it's not doing any more house shows. So no house show money.
Yeah.
That's big. That is big.
Well, we'll see what they will do going forward. Now, to branch off of this topic, so we all know the Lana situation. By the way, I think we're up to 8 times through the table by Nia Jax. I say as long as she's willing to do it, we got a long time between now and WrestleMania. She's going to go 20 plus. That's just my call. But because we know how that's working out with Miro and AEW, saying things on podcasts. Well, guess what? Zelina Vega released, married to Aleister Black. He wanted to go back to NXT, which they denied. How are they going to treat him now? And this is a different role. This is a male. This is a guy that can maybe speak up for himself more than Lana might. Are they going to treat him like Lana on TV? Are they going to bury him?
I think it's going to be job city for this kid. And they might, you know what? They might send him down to NXT, right? And say, well, we accommodated you, and then make him job out to all these rookies.
That's a good point.
So then where's his value after that? I mean, once Paul Heyman left the book for Raw, right? He stopped getting pushed.
Yeah.
So now what do you got? Nothing.
He hasn't even been on TV much at all. And now he was feuding with Owens. That might still be happening. I don't even know, but it's going to be ugly.
There's a guy who's like he works stiff when he needs to work stiff, but talk about his push. I just I didn't see it. And sometimes, guys, if you're successful at NXT, stay at NXT.
Now, speaking of turmoil in real life affecting what you get on television,
Right.
we all know the Matt Riddle. We've talked about the Matt Riddle saga. He more or less admitted that he cheated on his wife, but he didn't do anything against the law. And of course, the accuser is still lighting things up. Well, they didn't pull him off of WWE TV during all this, but he did start losing, and that initial push he got when he got pushed to the main roster, he got kind of pulled back. Well, Vito, what do you think's happened in the past 7 to 10 days? Because he got 2 wins on Raw, and it looks like I always claimed that he's Vince McMahon's new boy toy, like a Shawn Michaels in the mid-'90s. Just some weird reason where I thought Vince McMahon sees Matt Riddle and thinks this guy could be some heartthrob. 2 big wins on Raw. Is Matt Riddle on the rise? Is this thing behind him? Is their legal team confident against this Candy Cartwright? It's just something interested I wanted to bring back up and get your thoughts.
Who did he beat?
He won in a tag match, and then in the singles match, I'd have to go. I can't remember. I'd have to go look it up. But he won a singles match to get into the Survivor Series match. So he's on Team Raw for Survivor Series.
Right.
Can't remember exactly who he beat. And then he was in a tag match later on, I think with Keith Lee. They got the win. Riddle got the win. So Riddle got the pin.
They could be building them up for Survivor Series just to give them some credibility so people watch. My thinking. As far as the legal issues, until it's said and done, where it comes out that it's done, it's still ongoing. Like I said, you never know what can happen. They moved him to Raw to get him away from SmackDown. So they're going to try to build him up a little bit, right, to give him a little steam. But I wouldn't see a major push or a title coming his way at all.
But from losing probably 3 weeks in a row when all that was happening to getting some wins, though, It's just interesting when I see that because you know how WWE is. They like to be petty. I don't think Velveteen Dream has done hardly anything in NXT, the minor leagues, since his accusations. So I just thought that was interesting. I like bringing topics back up from time to time.
But you know what? You look at that guy, Velveteen Dream, and like, can he be on the main roster? What is he? He'll get buried. He's better off staying where he is.
So our favorite guy, Dizzy Pigeon 504, he asked a legitimate question here. He asks Vito, "What's your favorite AEW wrestler at the moment?" So jumping back to AEW, do you have one?
I always like Chris Jericho segments, and I like Jericho the way he does his some of his stuff. You know, that's probably my favorite guy right now. You know, everybody else, I casually watch, but if
Are you sure it's not Orange Cassidy?
no, definitely not.
I like Jericho too. That's an easy answer.
But I mean, if I know 9 o'clock is going to come on and 9 o'clock Jericho's coming on at the change of the hour, I will put it on. But guys, I honestly don't watch the wrestling because it really doesn't do anything for me. I catch all the clips on Twitter, and a lot of times I give Virtue a lot of this stuff, and he misses. So, how'd you get that? Where'd you get that from? I get
Well, I have to go make sure it's legit news and Vito's not on a clickbait site. Hey, so you were asking, obviously, we know about 3 months ago I had food poisoning, not the coronavirus. So I lost about 7 to 10 pounds during that horrible time. And I've developed some, ongoing symptoms from that will improve over time. But Vito's like, my mother passed away this week, so we're going to be, having her funeral this week. But I wanted to do this show with Vito because it's awesome. It gets my mind off of things for at least 30, 40 minutes. But yes, Vito, I am eating. Today I had it. I just want to tell everybody, on the BigVitoBrand.com what I ate today. Egg salad sandwich,
oh,
veggies with ranch dressing, which were tomatoes,
right.
broccoli, and sorry, I was calling you by accident, and carrots, grapes, and then I had a craving for breadsticks and wings tonight. So my appetite's coming back. I'm eating, and I've maintained that 10 pounds that I lost from being sick. I've maintained that weight, Vito, the last 3 months. Like I haven't dipped any lower. So,
That's good. That's
but I
good.
know stress and anxiety. It's
It'll eat your way. I know it better than anybody, and it can kill you. It can kill you on the inside, especially when you're going through emotional stuff. Just like the guys out there, fans and regular people. Even myself and my wife. I mean, we've had our ups and downs, and it was 6 years we're married, and it has been hard on me, hard on her. So everybody's got their things, and let's see. What is I think it says Vito, what is your favorite go-to dish? Right now,
ooh.
I have been on egg whites and protein shakes, four protein shakes and egg whites for 2 weeks. No, 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 I'm sorry. For 6 weeks. That's all I've eaten. A little bit
No,
of
no
chicken.
pasta, no ravioli, no spaghetti,
I swear to
rigatoni.
you, nothing. Protein shakes, chicken, egg whites. That's all I've been eating.
I'll tell you what, though, since I had that food poisoning, I have cut out soda. I have cut out fast food for the most, like from what I used to have, and that easily is why I'm keeping that 10 pounds off. I'm a short guy, so 3 months ago I was probably overweight for my size. But it's never good losing it by being sick.
Right.
But it opens your eyes at least. So, but anyway,
Yeah, but can
but
you believe Aaron Riff? I mean, he
oh,
made
he's eating
the
good.
steak.
He's eating like a
Oh
king.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I took my girlfriend for steaks, guys. Oh, yeah. But who are the guys making your money, Aaron? And the ratings are down because the BIGV from the LOG is not on the show, Aaron. All right.
All we're asking for is for this show to be on his YouTube channel
That's it.
once a week.
Once a
That's
week.
it.
I don't understand it. But to get Aaron to call us, oh, I'm with my girlfriend. Or look, hey, Aaron, can you pick up the phone? Oh, I'm taking pictures of nature. Hey, Aaron, Vito's on the phone. Oh, I'm bathing my cat. Hey, Aaron, David's on the phone. Oh, I can't, guys. I have to go take some more pictures of the wilderness. Come on,
Dude. And he's waiting until the rock bottom ratings hit, and then he's going to bring old Vito back, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to get as far as he can on his own, When he needs help, then he comes crying for it. Cry wolf. That's what
Nah,
it's going to be.
we
Cry wolf.
and you know what's sad is that the people ask for it, and he's being the Vince McMahon of no DQ. He's not giving them what they want.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
nuts. Well, Vito, look, here we go. We're going to talk about this because I saw this little headline, so to speak, about the Undertaker. We talked about this last week. He's going to be at Survivor Series. Something's going to go down, an angle, a segment. He might choke slams. We don't know. But what's the future hold of the Undertaker? We know he's going to be put in the Hall of Fame. There might be another cinematic match. This is all stuff we've talked about recently. But here's the new kicker. And I want your thoughts on this because you've been recently talking about getting involved in a wrestling school, teaching your knowledge, because you see all these wrestlers today just not doing it the right way, just not selling, having to be like things in AEW and NXT, and you're the old school vision of psychology and selling. Could The Undertaker be a great coach? I don't know if he would do it, but the rumor is he mentioned that in some type of interview. Could he be a good coach? Everybody's going to listen to The Undertaker. I mean, if they don't, whoosh, they'll be gone because he was the locker room boss. What is your take on that?
Guys, I'm going to say this, and this is with all due respect, and I've seen it. Okay, there are great wrestlers out there, guys who are tremendous wrestlers, can do it all. Being a wrestler and being a teacher are two different things.
Yep.
Ric Flair, probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, okay, could never be a coach on an everyday basis. He could talk to you one on one, he could sit with you and school you on things, but to sit there and coach you on wrestling, not his forte. I think the Undertaker would have good intentions, but people would be too afraid. But I don't think I think he would be better at the one on one or going on the road with somebody, teaching them like that. To teach in front of a school and do repetition, I think he would make a lot of people nervous, and especially if he got mad or yelled, it wouldn't be a good fit. You got to have the right bedside manner to teach. I'm not saying he doesn't have it,
Yeah.
but I just think that he's better off being a mentor on a one-on-one basis for a guy coming up and trying to learn the business.
And just to clarify, everybody should know this that watches you. You were in locker rooms with The Undertaker, correct?
Yes, many
Yeah.
years.
So, like, you know, I mean, you know. Sure, it might have been, several years ago, but by that time in his career, that was him. He was always going to be that same way. So your input here is very, you knew the guy. So
Guys, like I said, On Anderson has that personality to be a coach and to be an agent. Ric Flair doesn't. And I'm not saying Ric Flair doesn't know the wrestling business, but the teaching aspect. You look at who can we say? Guys I know, right? Okay, let's take guys from Gleason's J, guys from my school, right? Let's take a Devon for example, right? Devon Dudley. He has a great personality. He's got a good way with people. Yes, he could be a good coach. He's good. I mean, he works for the WWE. He's the type of guy who could be a good coach. You take a guy like Taz, right? Who was a great wrestler, knows the business inside and out, right? He could be a good coach, but I don't think it would be. I think he would be better served as a one-on-one guy.
and
Maybe
when you say a one-on-one guy, that's like the car ride type guy, right? Like going on the road and
going on
just
the
learning
road
from
with
people
guys.
that way in a more intimate setting. Yeah.
Exactly, not in a group setting. Even though he's done it, I think that he would be better served. You get more out of Taz on a one-on-one basis.
Yep.
Okay, Tommy Dreamer, right? Tommy's got a great personality. He could be a good coach and a good mentor and teach because he's got that personality. You got to have a certain personality to be a teacher. You got to have a certain amount of respect. can't have guys fear you, right? Another guy who came from our class was Bill DeMott. Okay, now Bill DeMott was hard on the students, but he took the time to teach you. Some people took it the wrong way, some people didn't. But that's the way we came up. And you had to have thick skin. But when you look at the guys who were trained by Bill DeMott, he made wrestlers. Either you were going to make it or you weren't going to make it. And he's a good communicator and teacher. Myself, I know for a fact I would be an excellent agent and an awesome teacher because I have the patience and I have that kind of mentality to teach and tutor somebody and be there. That's just my personality. A lot of guys don't have that, guys. It takes a certain kind of personality to be a good teacher. Could Sting be a teacher? 50-50. You know?
Yeah.
50-50. Now, we're talking about The Undertaker and his last match. I know David is, chomping at the bit. And I've said this, I'm going to say it again. He's going to have his last match. He's going to have his last thing. And who is the last guy he's going to be standing there with in a cemetery? But Sting. And they're going to break off, and you're never going to know what's going to happen.
Sting in a cinematic?
Yep. At the end.
Hey, Razor Sharp asked you, when's the last time you heard from fellow Mamalukes and FBI members?
I haven't heard from Johnny the Bull in a while because he's busy doing his thing. He's got a very successful job. Uh, James, I haven't spoken to. We just have been missing each other. Um, Everybody knows Tracy Smothers passed, and I had some interaction on Facebook with him. But that's about the only members I really, talk to. Chuck Palumbo is off the grid. Really doesn't deal with wrestling too much. Um, that's about it, guys. As far as the FBI that I know, the real Italians, the
Yep.
guys who put it on the map, the FBI, full-blooded Italian, not the imitation you see out there, not the low budgets, but the FBI, the Mamalukes, the FBI, the guys who made Italian wrestling
The Goodfellas.
the good fellas.
The De Niros, the Pescis, we get it. Yes, the
Right, De
Pacinos.
Niro, Pesci, Big Vito, Stallone.
Who's the other guy from Godfather 3? Andy Garcia. Oh, just great times, man.
I'm telling you. I mean, when you got a wall like that, Sinatra, Stallone, Big Vito,
Dean Martin.
I'm telling you, it's something. It's something. I get excited talking about it.
Well, we've had a great show, but we're not quite done yet unless you choose to be. So what's on Big Vito's mind? Is there anything you want to add flavor to this dish today?
I think and I hope what's on my mind is that all this political stuff can come to a ceasefire now that it's been kind of like, hey, kind of know who the president is and if we can move on. For all the people who are still doing their little bit of rioting and fighting, guys, if we could all be at peace now and just settle down and let's move on from this, I think it'd be a lot better place to live and let's give this guy a chance.
Well said, Vito.
I'm not saying Trump was bad or good. I'm not saying Biden was bad or good. All I'm saying is give the guy a chance, guys.
Yep, and that's them. We're going to have to starting in January. So, with that said, another great Getting Color, Vito, and we're going to make sure it goes up on Anchor. It's already up on Twitch. We'll get it over on NoDQ.com. So, Big Vito, you can follow him, everybody, on Twitter at the Big Vito Brand. You can follow me over there as well at NoDQ_Virtue. But this has been Getting Color right here on the BigVitoBrand.com. And it was great to do this, Vito, to get my mind off of things for over 30 minutes. And I love sharing this with Twitter and the internet. So, for Big Vito LaGrasso, former WCW Hardcore Champion, Tag Team Champion, and a list of other accomplishments. He's now the BigVitoBrand.com champion. For Vito, I'm Virtue.